Let's be honest, there's no guidebook when it comes to relationships. So we end up having to stumble through life trying to figure things out for ourselves. What if there was a podcast that found the answers for you, that provided insight to build a successful relationship and ultimately find the companionship you've always hoped for? Welcome to the Girls Ask Guys show, where we answer the questions most people are afraid to ask when it comes to lessons in life and love. It's time to master this thing called life together with your hosts, John and Ashley.
And welcome back to the Girls Ask Guys show, where we are your guide for dating, love, life, business, and fuck it, we're responsible for the universe, okay?
Basically.
And today we are going to be dropping a little bit on you about how to build a lasting relationship. We're not going to give you everything, but we're going to give you enough to maybe steer you in the right direction. And then you're going to have to tune in Thursday to really get deep with this. Because if you want to know how to make a relationship that is going to last a lifetime, that show will change your life.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not going to say guarantee, though.
Yeah, we're not going to guarantee that it's going to
change.
If you don't
do the work, it's not going to work.
Yeah, well, that's half the battle with everything. I mean, if you don't work, it's not going to work. But yeah, these last couple of weeks, we've really been pumping out some bangers. I will say that. And I agree. Last week's show really is the one that I think sets us, well, this week's show is what sets us apart. But last week's show is really going to be one that changes you.
Yeah, there's two different elements to love and desire. Like 2 weeks ago, we talked about the difference between love and desire. Love is the glue that holds a relationship together. And desire, when you desire somebody, that's what keeps you coming back. It makes you keep wanting to know more about them, want to get closer to them. So if you want to know how to build desire, that's what Thursday's show is going to be about. It's going to be about one of the ways that you can build desire in a relationship. And it's not easy. It's probably one of the hardest things people to go through, but that's the show that you need to listen to.
It is tough. It's a bit painful.
Yeah. Because building a relationship, we all know it doesn't just happen.
No, it takes work.
Yeah, it really annoys me when I'm looking at some of these other relationship coaches and gurus and whatever title that they want to give themselves. Because I do get asked, well, what do you think about this person? What do you think about this person? Some of them I've never heard of. And I'm like, who? So I go out and I look at them. And part of what they include in their so-called course is distant healing and meditation and manifesting. I still don't get, how do you manifest a person?
I don't get it either. Without doing any work. You just sit there and you close your eyes and boom, Amazon delivery.
Excuse me, UPS. I don't get it.
We have him. Where would you like us to deliver this, man?
You ordered one hot blonde? I don't get it. I don't get how you manifest anything. I wish I could. That'd be awesome. I wouldn't have to do shit, and they would just love me.
Well, you can probably buy one now. I was going to say, well, you can probably order one and just split some upgrades. But realistically, when it comes to building stuff, like we said, it's work. It's not going to take manifesting. It's not going to take doing some shallow work. It takes a lot of you time. It takes you really reflecting on who you are.
Yeah, you're going to have to get deep with yourself. Like everything that we do, it all begins with you. Because if you cannot bring yourself up to become the person that you imagine yourself being, guys want to be the hero. They want to be the guy who's on the screen that is running down the city streets, shooting up all the bad guys, saving the city, and rescuing the girl. Mm-hmm. That's one of the fantasies, recurring fantasies that a lot of guys have.
Is that real? That's really like one of the real fantasies that guys have? It's so weird.
Yeah. On the other side, you have the woman. One of the major themes in romance novels. Now, I don't care what anybody says, the total romance novel industry, which is pretty much 75% of the entire book industry. Yeah, people read a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, they do.
If you take that and then you take the 5 biggest porn sites, what the romance novel industry brings in dwarfs their total. Mm-hmm. People are reading a lot of this stuff. So, yeah, Don't tell me you haven't read it. Well, I don't watch those movies. Bullshit, you don't.
Lies and slander. Lies and slander. You are one of those, 5 billion.
Yeah, how many people went out and watched Twilight? That's a romance story, people.
Yeah, I guess technically you're right.
Yeah, she's one of the biggest romance writers out there. Same thing with Hunger Games. How many people went out there and watched Hunger Games? That was a romance novel, people. Don't tell me you don't watch this stuff and you don't read it.
Right. And I think they kind of mislead people a lot as to what it takes to build something lasting because, number one, the movie's only an hour and 20 minutes, and there's so much happening in that hour and 20 minutes that it's insane. And so you assume that everybody is going to have a nice, happy ending.
Yeah, the guy was sitting there and he was willing to eat the berries, and she was the heroine. She kind of needed a little bit of rescuing, shown how to go down the right path, and he was there to guide her. That's the modern romance. The older romances, she was usually a sweet little damsel, all innocent, never really knew anything, and it took him to awaken her. And when she awoken, she fell in love with him, and they lived happily ever after. Nothing else bad ever happened in their life. It was just perfect.
Yeah, and that's what people think, and that's not true. What they didn't show you was the years of counseling that the people had to go to, whether it was marriage counseling or self-counseling. What they don't show you is all the real stuff it takes to actually build a lasting relationship or bond with anyone.
Yeah. Who's going to take out the trash? How come the bed isn't made? Who's doing the laundry this week? It's all those little chores that we just can't get away from. That's what Thursday's show is going to be about. It's about all of those little things. We hit the big stuff, but we also talk about the little stuff, all the little things that go along with it. We use a music metaphor in order to kind of explain it. If you're going to build a band or a rock band or even a pop band, you can't just have the bass drum or the kick drum. That single instrument, a band, it does not make. And you can't have a symphony if all you got is a violin.
All you got is a violin. Yeah, that's not a symphony. That is just a violin, which can actually double as a fiddle, but still, it's not a bluegrass band.
Yeah.
What we do this Thursday is we really dive into one of these pillars and what it takes and why it's so important to do these things. We get a little heavy.
Yes.
And it can get a little heavy, especially if you're taking these steps and you're being actionable about them. It would definitely help you.
If you are thinking about hiring us or taking our course or anything else, if you can do this before you even come to us, the vast majority of your work will be done. And the rest of the work will be a lot easier because you won't have to struggle with some of the other steps because, well, the work's already done. So it becomes twice as easy and you'll move a little bit faster through those opening areas where a lot of the initial work and understanding comes into play.
Yeah, I agree. That's pretty much it, guys. I mean, it's very hard to talk about this show in particular without revealing too much because once we start getting into it, we start talking about it, it's a chain of events.
Yeah, we can't really explain something or we can't tell you about it and not explain it to you. It's not one of those, I can't tell you how to drive a car by just telling you to step on the gas. It's that kind of thing. There's a lot more that goes into driving a car than just pushing the gas pedal.
True.
So we can't start it without finishing it. That's why we didn't include it in our show 2 weeks ago. It takes its own show.
Yeah.
You really have to listen to it in order to get the concept. And trust me, it's not one of those shows that you're, oh, okay, whatever. No, it's one of those, it will change your life.
Absolutely. And I think the reason that it changes your life is, I think the best way I can sum it up, my own words, it just hits everything you need to know. We're going to show you what is the stressful part, but then we're going to move on to alleviating that stress and allowing you to turn that one really stressful piece of whatever kind of relationship you're in into a very satisfying, long-lasting, meaningful connection.
Yes. So that is our 10-minute Tuesday. Really can't go too much further with it. If you want to change your life, you want to build a deep, intimate relationship that has potential to last a lifetime.
Yeah.
This is the show. This is the one that you need to listen to.
I agree. Always like, rate, share, subscribe. Tell everybody you know. Make sure that you are writing us in. If you want to be on the show, we'll say maybe, or we'll say yes, or we'll say no. If you have any questions, always write us in. If you need any clarification, make sure to write us in about that.
Yes. And with that, we will talk to you on the next one.
That's all for this episode of the Girls Ask Guys show, where all of us learn to master this thing called life together. For more answers to your questions on life and love, be sure to subscribe to the show so you don't miss a single episode. And head to girlsaskguyshow.com to submit your questions for a future episode or apply to be a guest on the show. Good luck out there, and we'll catch you next time, right here on the Girls Ask Guys show.